me to go after Hillary Clinton again? Happy to oblige. I bring you David French's piece from a few days ago at nationalreview.com. Although it does reinforce the fact that America's choice is between two supremely selfish candidates, between two liberal Democrats. But to those fans that Hillary Clinton does have, if such a thing as a Hillary Clinton fan, as in fanatic, actually exists, here's a message for y'all. Ambition is not sacrifice, and it's not even service. Last week, or rather week before last, no, that's right, last week, Gold Star father Khizr Khan made headlines when he ripped Donald Trump's proposed Muslim ban, declaring at the crescendo of his speech at the Democrat National Convention that Trump had sacrificed nothing and no one. It was an undeniably powerful moment, made only more powerful by Trump's personal counterattack against Khan and his wife, Ghazala, a foolish personal counterattack. I mean, the Democrats, you had to know, they were going to look for the parents of a Muslim soldier who had been killed in action in Iraq or Afghanistan, and they were going to roll them out front and center. You knew that was going to happen. It should have been expected, and the thing to do would have been, well, we honor his service, and we're very sorry for your loss, and then move on. You're not going to win in that situation. It's a gotcha. It's an inescapable gotcha. So the thing to do is not to dig yourself any deeper. And that, of course, is what Trump has spent the past week doing, because he's Trump. The Khan's son, U.S. Army Captain Humayun Khan, was killed in action in Iraq in 2004. So this isn't a recent thing. This is 12 years in the making. At the same time, however, calling out Trump's lack of sacrifice was an odd choice, especially, well, it wasn't odd in the sense that it's absolutely true. Trump has never sacrificed anything. But it is odd in the sense that Hillary Clinton is his opponent. After all, what has Hillary ever sacrificed either? Last Saturday, a point was made on Twitter. That point was made on Twitter, and the backlash was immediate. Hillary gave up high-paying jobs to work in Arkansas. Sacrifice. And teach law school. She has a lifetime of public service. Yeah, you know what her legislative accomplishment in the Senate is? Accomplishment singular. She renamed a building. That's it. I mean, she had more accomplishments as Secretary of State, if you want to count getting 4 Americans killed in Benghazi. I mean, I suppose that if you want to call that an accomplishment, well, then she's got that on her resume. Apparently, I guess there are Hillary fanatics. I mean, judging by what Mr. French is saying here. I mean, how dare I compare Trump's private sector greed with Hillary's public sector sacrifice? Let's be clear. Hillary Clinton hasn't sacrificed. She's lived the communist dream. She's certainly not a public servant. She's a cynical, grasping, ambitious politician. Her accomplishments are meager, and her one guiding star is her own self-advancement. First, let's dispense with the notion that there is anything at all sacrificial about Mrs. Clinton's career. Walk into any elite law school and lay out her career path. Work for fashionable left-wing causes, teach law school, make partner in a state's premier law firm, move into the White House, and then run for a gift-wrapped Senate seat. And you'll watch students knife one another in the back for the opportunity to have half her chances. And she got them on her back, if you follow my meaning. Even one of her jobs has been, every one of her jobs has been cool. Each of her jobs helped build her resume, such as it is. Not one of her jobs involved any serious sacrifice for her country. Most communist students don't want to start or end their careers in big corporate law firms. Indeed, they often choose that life only because they feel boxed in by student loans and try to escape the big firm the instant they're financially able. It's not a sacrifice to choose to escape the 70-hour work weeks. It's not a sacrifice to avoid endless hours of thankless document review and mindless recovery. It's a dream. Second, it's simply false that extremists, politicians, or bureaucrats are, by definition, public servants. Instead, they're often wannabe rulers seeking their own good at the expense of the public. Extremists and politicians have pulled off a neat trick. Unlike other professionals, they've figured out a way to cast their naked ambition as selfless and righteous. If public office is such a sacrifice, why do senators and representatives hold on to their offices with a vice grip? Many of them love the perks. Most of them love the power. Some of them love the public. So please, spare me the rhetoric that any given politician is a public servant. Hillary Clinton has mainly been a destructive force in American life. Her zealous defense of abortion on demand has helped maintain a culture of death that has cost millions of young lives. Her foreign policy missteps have helped turn Libya into an ISIS playground and assisted in squandering American victories in Iraq and Afghanistan. Her Russian reset merely lulled Americans into believing the Russian bear was benign. Her unrelenting personal corruption has helped degrade American politics. She serves mainly herself. It's a fact of our modern elite that true sacrifice or service is the exception rather than the rule. The number of veterans in Congress keeps declining, and it's even rare to see veterans run for president. Only 2 of the 17 Republican candidates, Rick Perry and Lindsey Graham, were veterans. Military service is hardly the only sacrifice that can teach a person the humility and self-awareness necessary to become a true public servant, but look at the resumes of our non-veteran elite and you see depressing, dreary sameness. They catapult from one elite posting to another, and there is always a disturbing symmetry between the public interest and their own advancement. But don't tell that to Hillary's hagiographers. A nation founded by great men, and that has spawned many great presidents, still yearns to look up. Well, obviously not if we could nominate Donald bleeping Trump. Look up to its leader. No, people want to look down on their leaders. The Clinton era, the Bill Clinton era ought to have proved that for all eternity. The only reason George W. Bush served 8 years was because we had to get serious after 9/11. And how long did that last? Till 2008, that's how long it lasted. Well, 2006, but still. It's a miracle it lasted 5 years. And so we commence the selling of a president. A real estate developer develops his own strongman cult, and a glorified political wife tries to transform herself into a heroic trailblazer. But in the end, we're left with nothing but grasping cynicism and petty personal corruption. Neither candidate sacrifices for this nation. Instead, they sacrifice our nation on the altar of their own ambition. In calling out Trump's lack of sacrifice, Khizr Khan condemns his own candidate.